Have you ever stood in the dairy aisle, the refrigerated air kissing your skin, and looked at a block of cheese, only to feel a familiar and unwelcome pang of guilt? For so many of us who have gracefully crossed the threshold of 60, cheese has somehow transformed into a delicious taboo, a forbidden pleasure that we have been meticulously trained to avoid at all costs, as if it were a siren calling our health toward the rocks. The very word itself, cheese, can conjure an entire chorus of well-intentioned but often misguided warnings, echoing in our minds from past doctor's appointments, magazine articles, and conversations with friends. We hear the refrains, "It's absolutely full of cholesterol," a phrase delivered with grave certainty, or "My doctor was very clear that I have to cut back on salt and fat," a statement that shuts down any further discussion. Perhaps most common is the all-too-familiar sigh of resignation. "I'm lactose intolerant. It will simply tear up my stomach." If these cautionary thoughts have not only crossed your mind, but have taken up permanent residence there, dictating your choices and limiting your culinary joy, please know that you are in the vast majority. In my years of practice, I have seen the same look of profound disbelief spread across the faces of countless patients, men and women from all walks of life, when I suggest that cheese, yes, that very same cheese, could in fact be a powerful and transformative ally in the critical work of rebuilding their physical strength. They often look at me as if I have just prescribed a daily diet of birthday cake and ice cream, as if I have lost my professional senses and am advocating for pure, unadulterated indulgence rather than sound nutritional science. It is a reaction born from decades of conditioning, a deep-seated belief that what tastes good must, by definition, be bad for us, especially as we age. But what if I were to tell you, with the full weight of clinical evidence and nutritional science behind me, that you have been fundamentally misinformed? What if the narrative you have been sold is an oversimplification, a broad-stroke piece of advice that misses the magnificent healing details hidden within specific foods? What if a well-kept secret, a truth hidden in plain sight within the very fabric of certain kinds of cheese, holds the key to unlocking stronger muscles, to soothing the chronic low-grade inflammation that contributes to so much of our daily aches and pains, and to restoring the essential power and stability to your legs that you may have thought was lost to time? Let me be perfectly clear. This is not a conversation about the plastic-wrapped, alarmingly bright orange slices of American cheese from your youth, nor is it about the processed, shelf-stable cheese spreads that come in a jar, laden with artificial ingredients and preservatives. This is a journey into the world of a trio of ancient, nutrient-dense cheeses, foods so powerfully concentrated in their healing properties that just a few spoonfuls or a single small slice each day can begin to fundamentally change your body's ability to heal itself and grow stronger. These are not just foods, they are functional tools. These are cheeses that have been meticulously studied and revered for centuries, celebrated for their remarkable high-quality protein, their incredible and often surprising digestibility for aging systems, and their unique synergistic blend of nutrients that actively fight sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, support the cartilage and function of aching joints, and can even accelerate your recovery from physical exertion or minor injury. Before we unveil these three quiet powerhouses of the dairy world, I have to ask you to perform a small internal exercise. Have you ever, even for a fleeting moment, imagined that a simple piece of cheese could be a secret weapon for preserving the muscles that allow you to live independently and with vitality? A simple yes or no in the privacy of your own mind is all it takes to begin this shift in perspective. Because if you are here, reading these words, you are demonstrating a readiness to discover a truth that your body, in its innate wisdom, may have been quietly craving for years. Let's begin our exploration with a cheese that might sound foreign or perhaps a bit intimidating to the uninitiated palate, but could very soon become your most trusted and cherished companion in the quiet, essential work of rebuilding your body from the inside out. Feta. The name itself might make you pause, conjuring images of Greek salads and Mediterranean holidays, but it isn't the familiar, creamy comfort of a mild cheddar or the gentle, stringy melt of mozzarella that many of us grew up with as a dietary staple. For those who have not yet had the pleasure of a proper introduction, feta presents a truly unique and assertive profile. It delivers a tangy, vibrant brightness on the tongue, a subtle yet distinct saltiness that speaks directly of its ancient origins in the coastal hills of Greece, where it has been made for millennia. It possesses a light, fermented aroma that some might initially find unusual, a testament to its natural, unadulterated creation. But it is precisely this unusual character, this departure from the bland and the processed, that houses its extraordinary, health-giving benefits. The true magic of feta, the secret to its profound versatility and healing power, is often revealed not when it is eaten alone in a stark, solitary block, but when it is used as a culinary catalyst to elevate other foods. When a small amount is crumbled over a plate of warm, fluffy scrambled eggs, its saltiness cuts through the richness and brightens the entire dish. When tossed with sweet, bursting cherry tomatoes, crisp cucumber, and a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, that initial tang becomes a harmonious counterpoint, a note that makes the entire salad sing. When blended into a creamy, savory dip with Greek yogurt, olive oil, and fresh herbs like dill or oregano, its assertive flavor transforms entirely, becoming balanced, fragrant, and surprisingly gentle on the palate. I have worked with many patients who, at first, recoiled at the mere thought of its strong or sour flavor, only to find themselves, weeks later, completely enamored with it, starting with just a small, tentative pinch and gradually discovering its profound, complex, and deeply healing nature. They learned that feta is not meant to be a passive ingredient. It is an active participant in creating a delicious and therapeutic meal. What truly elevates feta to the status of a nutritional hero, especially for adults navigating the physiological changes that come after the age of 60, is the remarkable fact that it is one of the most potently anti-inflammatory cheeses you can possibly find, and it is exceptionally, almost miraculously kind to the digestive system. Traditionally, authentic feta is made not from cow's milk, but from sheep's milk, or a blend of sheep's and goat's milk. This is not merely a matter of taste or tradition. It is a fundamental difference in biochemical structure. The proteins found in sheep and goat milk, primarily A2 beta-casein, are softer, more delicate, and form a much smaller, more fragile curd in the stomach compared to the A1 beta-casein dominant in most cow's milk, which can be a trigger for inflammation and digestive discomfort in sensitive individuals. The fat globules themselves are also significantly smaller, making them far easier for a mature digestive system to break down and absorb without strain. This is the precise scientific reason why a great many people who have been diagnosed with lactose intolerance, or who simply experience discomfort, bloating, or a feeling of heaviness after consuming other dairy products, find that they can enjoy feta without any of those negative consequences. But it would be a grave mistake to mistake this inherent gentleness for a lack of potency. Feta is a quiet but formidable warrior in the critical battle for muscle preservation. A modest 100-gram serving, which is roughly equivalent to 2/3 of a cup when crumbled, delivers a robust 14 grams of complete high-quality protein, nearly the same amount as 2 large eggs or a small chicken breast. Even better, this powerful dose of protein is naturally packaged with a host of healthy fats, including a potent anti-inflammatory agent known as conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA. A growing body of scientific research has shown that CLA can help to improve overall body composition by encouraging the growth and maintenance of lean muscle mass, while simultaneously helping to reduce stubborn adipose tissue, particularly abdominal fat, a crucial metabolic benefit for aging bodies. Furthermore, feta is a veritable treasure trove of calcium and phosphorus, 2 minerals that are absolutely essential not just for maintaining bone density, but for the very spark of muscle movement itself. Every single time you stand up from a chair, lift a bag of groceries, reach for something on a high shelf, or simply steady yourself on uneven ground, your muscles are relying on a complex exchange of calcium ions to receive the electrical signals from your nervous system and contract correctly. Without an adequate and consistent supply of this mineral, your muscles cannot perform their duties smoothly or efficiently, leading to progressive weakness, instability, and an increased risk of falls over time. And as a final, little-known bonus, feta also contains a significant amount of an amino acid called histidine, which the body uses as a primary building block to produce carnosine, a powerful antioxidant that concentrates specifically in your muscle and brain tissues to fight off the oxidative damage and cellular fatigue that result from daily movement and metabolic processes. If feta felt like a new and perhaps exotic discovery, our next cheese is one you have almost certainly seen 1,000 times, walking past it in the dairy case, perhaps dismissing it as bland, uninspired, or a relic of a bygone era. It is time to formally and completely reconsider the humble powerhouse that is cottage cheese. For decades, this simple fresh cheese has been unfairly relegated to the sad, lonely corner of 1980s diet plates, perpetually associated with restrictive eating, and viewed as a lumpy, unexciting food reserved for people trying to shed pounds at the expense of all culinary pleasure. But this unassuming, plain white exterior conceals one of the single most effective, strategic, and affordable tools for combating sarcopenia, the progressive and debilitating age-related loss of muscle mass and function. Cottage cheese isn't flashy, it isn't gourmet, and it will likely never be the star of a high-end cheese board, but its physiological impact is profound, quiet, and impressively long-lasting, delivering its most important benefits, remarkably, while you are sound asleep. Here is the astonishingly simple yet powerful reason why. A mere half-cup serving of low-fat cottage cheese provides your body with nearly 14 grams of the highest quality protein for only about 80 calories. Let that sink in for a moment. This means that an incredible 70% of its total energy content is pure, unadulterated, muscle-building protein, a ratio that very, very few foods in the natural world can even begin to claim. To put that into a clearer perspective, consider that the calories in a large egg are approximately 35% protein, while a piece of lean steak is around 40–50% protein by calories, and a slice of cheddar cheese, as delicious as it is, sits at around 24%. When your primary nutritional objective is to specifically and efficiently feed your muscles, providing them with the raw materials they desperately need to repair and rebuild without burdening your system with excess calories, cottage cheese is an undisputed world-class champion. The immense power of cottage cheese, however, extends far beyond these impressive macronutrient numbers. Its true secret lies in the specific, unique, and synergistic types of protein it contains. First and foremost, it is exceptionally rich in a particular branched-chain amino acid called leucine, which is now widely recognized by scientists as the primary anabolic trigger for muscle protein synthesis. You can think of leucine as the essential foreman on a construction site. It is the one that blows the whistle and shouts the command that tells your muscle cells, "All right, everyone, we have the materials. It's time to build." As we age, a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance sets in, meaning our muscles become more resistant to this critical signal. You can eat a sufficient amount of protein, but if there is not a high enough concentration of leucine in that protein meal, the message to build new tissue simply does not get through effectively, and the protein is not utilized to its full potential for muscle repair. Cottage cheese delivers that vital message loudly and clearly with every spoonful. But the real secret weapon, the characteristic that makes it a game changer for older adults, is its primary protein, casein. Unlike whey protein, which is found in many popular protein shakes and is known for its rapid digestion and absorption, casein is a slow-release protein. Due to its unique micellar structure, it forms a gel-like substance in the acidic environment of the stomach, which causes it to break down and release its amino acids into the bloodstream at a slow, steady, and sustained pace over a period of 6 to 8 hours. For an older adult, this is a physiological masterstroke. Overnight, during the long fast of sleep, the body, in its search for energy to fuel basic functions, often enters a catabolic state, breaking down precious muscle tissue for fuel. A small bowl of cottage cheese consumed an hour or so before bed acts as a protective nutritional blanket, providing a constant, gentle drip of nourishment that shields your muscles throughout the entire night, effectively preventing this destructive breakdown and promoting a net anabolic state. This is not just a compelling theory. Numerous clinical studies have demonstrated that older adults who incorporate casein-rich foods like cottage cheese into their regular diet, especially in the evening, experience noticeable and measurable gains in muscle mass, grip strength, and overall physical function over time. And if the lumpy texture still remains a barrier for you, the solution is wonderfully simple. Blend it in a blender with a handful of berries and half a banana for a creamy, high-protein smoothie, or whip it with a hand mixer for a minute until it becomes as smooth, thick, and luxurious as Greek yogurt, ready to be topped with nuts, seeds, or a drizzle of honey. We now arrive at our final cheese, a true powerhouse of concentrated nutrition that you may have, until now, only ever experienced as a dusty shaker of desiccated flakes to be sprinkled over a plate of pasta. It is time to forget that shaker and to embrace the profound and potent nature of the real thing, aged Parmesan cheese. If you have only ever viewed Parmesan as a simple, one-dimensional topping, a mere salty garnish, then you are missing out on one of the most potent, concentrated, and undeniably delicious functional foods available for any person over the age of 60 who is serious about their health. A small, unassuming piece, roughly the size of your thumb, can deliver more bioavailable, readily usable nutrition than an entire meal for a fraction of the digestive effort. The profound secret to its power lies in its long, patient, and transformative aging process. A true Parmigiano Reggiano, the king of cheeses, is legally required to be aged for a minimum of 12 months, and the most prized wheels are often aged for 24, 36, or even 48 months. During this extended period of rest, a magical transformation occurs deep within the cheese. Natural enzymes, present in the milk and rennet, work tirelessly and methodically, breaking down the complex, long-chain milk proteins, casein, into their simplest, most fundamental components, short-chain peptides and free-form amino acids. The incredible result of this natural enzymatic process is a cheese that is not only extraordinarily rich in complex, savory, and nutty flavor, but is also, in essence, pre-digested for you. This makes it incredibly easy for your body to absorb and immediately utilize its nutrients with minimal metabolic cost, a tremendous advantage for aging digestive systems that may have become less efficient over time. Just a single 1-ounce, 28-gram serving of authentic aged Parmesan provides a staggering 10 grams of complete, high-quality protein, which is nearly double the protein you would find in the same weight of sirloin steak or a large egg, and it does so in a far more absorbable form. And, crucially for muscle health, it has one of the highest natural concentrations of leucine of any food on the planet, that all-important amino acid that acts as the primary switch to kickstart the process of muscle repair and growth. But what truly elevates Parmesan to a class all of its own is its remarkable dual-action benefit for both your muscles and your bones, a synergistic effect that is difficult to replicate. During its long and patient aging process, virtually all of the lactose in the milk is broken down and consumed by beneficial bacteria, making it perfectly safe and comfortable to eat for even the most severely lactose-intolerant individuals. At the very same time, the calcium becomes highly concentrated and exceptionally bioavailable. That same 1-ounce serving delivers over 330 milligrams of readily absorbable calcium, which is roughly a third of the entire daily requirement for an older adult. This is absolutely vital because, as we have discussed, calcium's role extends far beyond bone health. It is the fundamental electrical messenger for your entire muscular system. The subtle hand tremors you might occasionally experience, the slight hesitation or feeling of weakness when you stand up from a low chair, or a slowly weakening sense of balance are often not just inevitable signs of getting older. They are physiological signs that your muscles are not receiving the clear, crisp, calcium-driven electrical signals they need to fire properly and in unison. It is certainly no coincidence that a landmark study from Italy, a country where older adults often enjoy a small piece of Parmesan as a daily ritual, found that participants who did so had significantly greater lower body strength, faster walking speeds, and more stable bone density over the years compared to those who did not. And please do not let its well-known salty reputation fool you. Because its flavor is so intensely rich, savory, and satisfying, a quality known as umami, a little goes a very, very long way, adding immense nutritional value and gustatory pleasure to your meals without overloading your system with sodium. Now that you have been introduced to these three golden cheeses, the gentle, anti-inflammatory feta, the overnight guardian, cottage cheese, and the concentrated powerhouse, Parmesan, each with its own unique portfolio of strengths, you may be feeling a sense of excitement and eagerness to welcome them into your kitchen. They are gentle, they are convenient, they are delicious, and they are wonderfully effective allies in your personal journey toward a stronger, more vibrant, and more resilient life. However, as a doctor who has carefully guided many patients on this very path, I feel it is my responsibility to offer a few words of gentle yet firm guidance to ensure your success. Like any powerful nutrient-dense food, cheese must be incorporated wisely and thoughtfully into your diet to ensure that it heals and strengthens without causing any unintended harm. If you are actively managing high blood pressure or have been advised to follow a low-sodium diet, it is important to be mindful. You can choose younger, less salty cheeses. Rinse brined cheeses like feta under cool water for a few seconds before using them, or use intensely flavored aged cheeses like Parmesan very sparingly, as its potent flavor means you truly need very little to achieve a wonderful taste. For those of you who are managing your weight or have concerns about cholesterol, it is wise to opt for lower-fat versions when available, such as low-fat cottage cheese, or to enjoy the richer cheeses in smaller, more deliberate, and more mindful portions, savoring each bite. If you have a known history of digestive trouble with dairy, even beyond lactose intolerance, the best approach is to start slowly and methodically. Begin with naturally long-aged, virtually lactose-free cheeses like Parmesan, or with those made from sheep or goat's milk like feta, as their unique protein structures are often far more easily broken down. It is especially critically important to be cautious and to work in partnership with your healthcare provider if you have known kidney issues, because cheese is such a concentrated source of protein, phosphorus, and sodium. It can put an additional strain on kidneys that are already compromised. This does not necessarily mean that all cheese is forbidden for you, but it absolutely does mean that a direct and honest conversation with your doctor or a registered dietitian is essential to determine the right portion size, the right type of cheese, and the right frequency for your specific and individual health needs. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, please remember that these cheeses are not a magic bullet, but rather a powerful and valuable component of a broader, more holistic strategy for wellness. To truly feel the profound difference they can make, it is essential to pair this new nutritional addition with a diet rich in other healthful foods. Plenty of leafy greens, high-fiber vegetables and legumes, healthy fats from sources like olive oil, avocados, and nuts. And, of course, gentle, consistent, daily movement. Your body is a remarkable and intelligent system, and it thrives on the symphony of small, consistent, and intelligent choices you make each and every day. Your journey to reclaiming your strength is not a frantic sprint to a finish line, but rather a steady, rewarding, and enjoyable walk. And these remarkable ancient foods can be your faithful and delicious companions every single step of the way.